we go. Hey. Thank you for coming.
And welcome back to Old Men Fumbling with Modern Technology.
Yeah, I'm
sorry we're about 20 minutes late, but we got it figured out. We got it together. And here we go.
If anybody out there has any advanced knowledge of OBS, please contact me because I'm having a total nightmare with this channel for some reason. But last week we were doing the crafting for my game for Gen Con, the Cliffs of New Haven. We got that started. I'm doing some work off camera on that, and we'll pick back up on that probably next week, and just rotate back and forth between these to show the building process of all of them. I mean, I'm not going to be able to show everything on camera, but you know, we'll hit the major points of each set of terrain. This week I'm starting on Justin's Iron Reckoning, which is a hero system game of superheroes saving the world, saving the city. He's got a massive, it's his personal campaign that he's run like most of his life. He's got his whole world that all this runs in.
Yes, I have. I started in about the mid to late 80s, and I've been running games on and off since that point. But every game that I've run has been in that same universe, for lack of a better term, and I've just developed it from there. I tell people kind of jokingly, I've got a whole nother universe in my head that I run these guys through whenever I run a Heroes game. And it's sort of a multiverse, really. Currently, it's a multiverse. My current superhero group that I run is the Argonauts. And this is, as I said, it's kind of a multiverse because there's 3 versions of the Argonauts. There's the original versions, the people that made the characters, which Charlie is one of them, and the people, most of the people you see streaming on our live when we record our gaming sessions. Those are the OG Argonauts. We also have the Roll20 Argonauts. During COVID, I basically, like most of the planet, kind of went online for most forms of entertainment, communication, so on and so forth. And that's when I got into a game called Roll20, which is a gaming platform that all kinds of games you can run on it. And that's also where I started my Discord account, was back then, and I've kind of just grown since then. But anyway, I have the Roll20 Argonauts, as I call them. That's the heroes that the players decided to keep, the heroes that they started playing that I introduced them with, and they've just evolved them on that platform from then. And last, I have the Gen Con Argonauts, which is the Argonauts that I use when I run games at Gen Con. I started doing that in 2018, mostly just, it's kind of a bucket list thing. I wanted to run a game at Gen Con because Gen Con is the premier gaming convention on the planet, I assume, I figure. And I wanted to run a game there, like I said, basically as a bucket list thing. And I wasn't sure if I liked it at first. But because I was worried about, I was running the same game over and over and over, 3 days in a row. But I loved it. I ended up loving it. I like seeing how different groups solve problems in a different way. Some people just, some groups will go just straight for the head of the snake. They get the information they need to go to the end. They don't feel they need to explore the rest of what's around right there, and they just go straight for the head. And those tend to be the quickest ones. The ones that finish the adventures the quickest. And then I got games that are more they're more thorough. While they may have the information to go ahead, they want to gather as much information in the place they're at before they go on. But and then you got other people that will try to role play their whole way through a scene. Those can be the funnest ones. But I really enjoyed seeing those different ways of people were doing it at Gen Con. So I've decided to just keep running from there. And I've just had that team evolve. Every year I give them so many points, and they've advanced from beginning characters in 2018 to advanced, powerful characters. I'd equate them to the Avengers.
Let me interrupt you here. Hey, Swarley, thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate the sub. I think we're going to be doing these every Sunday, man. You ought to come hang out sometime. And it's good. They're going to get more exciting, once we get into the crafting and all that. But I appreciate you coming by, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much. And so, without further ado, let's just go into crafting for Gen Con 2026, the Argonauts, the superhero crafting. The name of the story this year is called Iron Reckoning. And I just want to say now, spoiler alert, for anybody planning on playing my games at Gen Con, you're going to get some spoilers here. I can't help it. I'm not going to give everything away, but a lot of the game is within the scenery that we build, and you're going to get a closer look or a better look.
Yeah.
Or a too good of a look behind the curtain.
Yeah, and I think we need to do that at the beginning of all these, I think, because anybody who's going to be playing any of these games, there's going to be massive spoilers probably happening.
Right.
Because you can't build the terrain without talking about why you're building it. And to add it to like what Justin was saying about running at the Gen Con games, what I like about it is they are straightforward. A lot of times when you play an RPG, and it is the cool part. What a lot of people like about it is it's kind of open world. Basically, it's like an open world game where you can go do this or go do that. Where at Gen Con you're in a time frame, and you've only got those players at your table for 4 or 5 hours, and that's it. So in building an adventure for Gen Con, it has to be a strong arc, a strong story arc with a beginning, a middle, and an end. That way the players walk away feeling like they've done something versus just coming in, wandering around, getting a couple plot hooks, and the time's up. Anybody who's ever sat down at an RPG table knows that it can take 5-6 hours just to learn about the area you're in and figure out an adventure. So these adventures for Gen Con are real compact. I mean, it's just boom, 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 boom. You got to get right into the action, and you try to pack as much excitement into it as you can for that short period of time. You don't have a lot of time for backstory and character development and all that stuff. So it's run more like a platform game. Just bam, 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 bam. And that's what I like about it, because it's just straight to the point and straight to the fight and straight to the plot. But just
that being said, you got to try to balance. You cannot railroad the players. You can't, unfortunately, the rub of it is, you can't just throw them down, put them on the path, and they got to stay on that path. They got to have choices along the way, and there does have to be a role-playing element to it. But like he was saying, you are under a time constraint, and the hardest thing for me personally to adapt to the Gen Con games is, like you said, you got 4 hours. You don't got time to mess around at all. I try to keep my introductions as brief as possible. I give, just a general quick synopsis for each character, try to get a good, capture a good image of the type of character they are, then move on through them all. I give a very, very short kind of history of the Argonauts, because people don't want to sit here and listen to you go on for 20 minutes of every one of their adventures up to this point.
Right.
You don't want to see them getting bleary-eyed with your introduction, which I've been that guy, just trying to focus, trying to stay going through the first parts, listening to somebody go on and kind of drone about things.
Mike, he said, "Dang, Charlie, you got a permit for those guns."
Whoa. Right. But anyway, where was I? What was I saying? Oh yeah, you got to get through the introductions. And you've got to make it as exciting and dynamic as possible. Because, like I said, you don't want to drone on. You do not want to lose those players. You don't want to lose their focus. Matter of fact, that's kind of your number one job as a game master. Kind of getting away from the train for a minute, is that your players are having a good time. They have to be enjoying themselves. If you're not running a fun game that they want to play, that they want to come back to, then you're not, you're failing. It's great. It's very important to know all the rules, but even that is still secondary to, make the game entertaining. Because believe me, folks, if you get a rule wrong, those rules lawyers that we love so much will let you know.
Yeah. Yep.
So you got that to fall back on. But anyway, I'm really digressing. Let's get back to making the terrain. This week we're going to go into, as he said, my Gen Con game, the Iron Reckoning, my game for 2026. And my games take modern terrain, which is kind of its own challenge in itself. It's hard to make it look really, really good or really real. In it. So one of the things that we do for our modern terrains is we try to go modular. I try to, for example, right here, this all is the base. It's just a flat, plot of space where buildings or whatever go, with a street running around two sides of it. As a matter of fact, we don't have them out right now, but we've got at least three other things.
I think I have 6.
Yeah, I think 6 altogether that we can fill this table with, a little
It's a city,
street scene.
basically a city block.
A city block, yeah.
And one of the modular things I do, this is basically just a box. Made a storefront on one side. On the blank sides, I make these storefronts. Like, this is just a mechanic shop with some doors or whatever, and it's literally just cardboard, just painted cardboard. You make the little things, all the little details, but you cut those to put on the side, so you can literally. It turns into a storefront for the city block. Then we have, but I have multiple ones. I have this one. It's like a gas station with a cute little ice machine that I made. That's kind of cool. I have those. I have some larger ones, which this isn't for this board. This is for a much larger board, but this is like the front of a warehouse, and we'll have the backing on the back of it for that warehouse. For that, I'll do things like this, where this is like the interior of the gas station, so you can set the gas station up. And it has the interior, for the miniatures. And I actually have like cabinets and shit that I can put in here, and gas pumps that I can put out front. But this is just all cardboard, just basic cardboard with a basic paint on it. And you make these fronts. You can make multiple fronts for the same area. So you can rotate them out for adventure, different adventures. And I think it's something like that is what we're going to do for Justin's thing, right?
Yes. Today we're going to be kind of brainstorming on the final scene. All right, let me add another couple. Now, we didn't totally make these ones from scratch. We went online. Oh man, if I'd have been thinking, I'd have got the website that we got these off of. But they have building fronts, and so I just I bought the program from them, and then I just print it out.
They're literally just PDF files of windows and the side of a building, and you print it out on a color printer. And these are old. These are probably, God, probably 5-6 years old. But I just made a box out of the foam board from the Dollar Tree. Glued it together, supported it with some styrofoam, and glued the windows on the front. One page has the doors to the building, and these were something I threw together pretty quick for something we were doing, and we have gotten a ton of use out of them because we have multiple sizes of them, and so you can stack them to look like skyscrapers, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff with them.
It froze.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That's weird. Let's see here. Back to this. I don't know why that.
Maybe you're pulling. Maybe it's the tension from the camera. Is it trying to unplug from the?
Yeah. It didn't unplug. That's strange. Let me pull up and make sure we're still good. Where the hell did the chat go? Keep losing the chat window. There we go. There. So I also have the sound off. Happy to catch you. Hi, Brooke. I appreciate you coming through. That's my wife. My tooth is not a creep. Hey, War Dog. Those buildings are sweet.
Hey, Jill.
Jill's here. Hi, Jill. We're supposed to have Teddy, one of our players. He's coming by, but he's got a flat tire.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so he's stuck. I'm pulling it up here. I don't know why that camera froze.
Is it still froze?
No. Well, I know. I switched back to this main camera. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to pull that up on my phone so we can make sure. Let's try that camera again. Still froze.
Still froze.
That's strange.
If you unplug it, then plug it back in, is that going to mess anything up?
I don't know. We'll try. Let's see what happens. Try to turn it off and turn it back on again and see what happens. Huh. That is odd.
Sorry, folks. This is, once again, old men fumbling with modern technology.
Yeah. We didn't have any problem with it the first time. But yeah. Yeah, but these are really cool buildings. They've come in handy, and like I said, when you make the full city block, we had at one point, we had 4 or 5 of them at least, and you could really fill it out. I think I had some stuff like big water heater things or whatever you could put on the roof, but it gives you that verticality, which is really necessary when you're talking about like flying superheroes and stuff like that.
Absolutely, man. If I remember right, this was like taller than I was.
We were able to get. Yeah, I have some pictures on my game room website. Some pictures of the whole city setup, and it's pretty sweet. It's done to scale pretty much. I mean, you can use like Matchbox cars as vehicles. They're a little small scale wise versus the miniatures, but it really gives a great effect. It looks good. Looks really good.
It does. We lost the chats.
The chat keeps looping off for some reason. We're having all kinds of weird stuff going on.
And welcome to this channel, Shane Nash.
Hey Shane, what's up? Those are some of my...
Brooke 6906.
I don't see Shane. Where do you see that?
Where?
Oh, there he is. Yeah. You got Shane and War Dog. Those are some of my Warzone buddies. Came by to see just how nerdy I really am. So Justin and I we've discussed his adventure, not in a lot of detail, but enough to where I kind of know where we're going. I think we're gonna use, for the most part, we're gonna reuse a lot of my terrain. You're set up in 3 scenes, right?
Yes.
And we break these up. The way I've always done it, like with the crafting, is I do my stuff in scenes, and each scene is a terrain set. So you'll start. You start in the village. The next scene's the outside of the mountain in the woods, and the third scene is in the dungeon. And so for Gen Con, when you got to be like bam, bam, bam. That way you just have your terrain set up. You have your terrain set off to the side, and you just have to swap it out, 2 or 3 times throughout the period, and that's it. But for Iron Reckoning, your first and second scene, I've pretty much already got that stuff made. We're going to use existing terrain that I'll probably modify some. I might have to mess off of. But his third scene is going to be the full original one, and it's going to be kind of the larger, crazier scene that I'm going to have to do the most work on. So I think that's what we're going to focus on today, is getting that third scene. So give me a description of it, Justin. You guys will be able to, like last time, kind of watch my process, my big cluster. my clusterfuck process of figuring out what I'm making and how I'm going to make it. This sometimes it might take me a couple iterations to kind of get it down right. But yeah, walk us through.
Just to give you an example.
Oh, don't show them. Don't show them. This is
the chaos.
Well, this is kind of blocking the view of the player.
Oh yeah, I get.
There you go. That's my game room.
This is the game room.
The other end. That's the storage part of the game room.
Right.
There's a lawnmower in there somewhere.
Yes, right there. We were focused right in on the lawnmower and whatever that blue.
Oh yeah, I stole that from work. Don't tell my work. But yeah, I might do on a stream one day. I'll kind of dig this out a little bit and take everybody on a tour of all of my terrain, because I have a massive amount of terrain, and the biggest issue is so much of it's just big stuff. I like to build large, large set pieces, and just because they look so cool. But the problem is, you build it, you play on it, and then what do you do with it? You have to store it somewhere, and that's how you end up with that mess, because I just have massive amounts of huge, big set pieces. I will reuse them when I get new players or I come up with something new, but you only get to reuse it so many, every so often.
Yeah, like we have, for example, we have an Aztec-style pyramid, which is awesome. It's one of my favorite set pieces that we've brought to Gen Con. But it's completely beautiful, and we've used it once, or we used it at Gen Con that
used
year.
It at Gen Con, and I think I've used it once or twice, in games that I did. But yeah, the rest of the time it's just stacked up there, taking up space, ready, adding to the fire hazard of the mountain of XPS insulation foam that I have in my. If you ever see a large black cloud over the west side of Indianapolis, it's probably my garage.
Yes.
So, what are we working on? Are we talking about
the final scene? The scene that we're kind of trying to showcase. For Gen Con is the fight at the data center, and AI is the heroes are trying to figure out whether they're fighting an AI or somebody in a suit inside of a power armored suit that's just going crazy. And the final showdown is going to be at a server farm, a data center. and the heroes are going to come in, and the data center is heavily modified. It's been modified and fortified to for defense. The AI or villain has realizes that the Argonauts are going to be on their way and has reconfigured the data center, as I said, as a defensive fort. With there's going to be guns. There's going to be the data server pods or server stacks transforming into robots and attacking them. Wires becoming unplugged and animated and grabbing people, whipping people. There's going to be electrocuting people. There's going to be electricity going on, and just we're going to try to figure out how to make a cool scene out of that. How to make something jump out at you to look really cool.
Bear with me here. I'm kind of trying to mess with this other camera to see if I can get it to pop up. It's being difficult for some reason, but they can still hear you.
Okay. But yeah, as I said, the final fight is going to be at a server farm, a data center. And just something to point out, just an aside right here. This is the Argonauts spaceship. It's the Argos. It's pretty much the reason that the team ended up calling themselves the Argonauts, was because that's what the ship's name was. They call themselves Argonauts, as I said, because that's what the ship's name is, and also to pay respects or homage to Jason and the Argonauts, the original superhero team, the first one. And this model here was put together and painted by Mike T for a Gen Con a couple years ago, and it is spectacular. It's definitely cooler than the cardboard shape that we were using previously. And it just gives you an idea of the dimensions, how big it is. Well, it's not a huge, gigantic warship. It's not tiny either.
I got it to work.
It's working?
Yeah, but now it's in the wrong spot. But go ahead, keep talking.
All right. While he's doing that, let me go on to... All right, that's going to be the finishing scene. The opening scene... Now, I put my description into Gen Con, months ago. I wanted to get in early. I wanted to, get everything out of the way. We had some special requests that we were making, and we wanted, all of our ducks to be in a row when we asked about it. So my description, the first scene is just going to be, at a street, and either maybe at their base, or I might have it in Theater of the Mind. But what it's going to be is a power armored person comes crashing down out of the sky, just out of nowhere, to the ground, and hits it and is dead. The Argonauts are going to come up. They're going to get to the scene, and realize quickly that he had something ripped out of his power armor. It looked like something very powerful just grabbed onto the energy source of his armor and just ripped it out of him while he was flying, and just and wounded him seriously, in the process, and then just dropped him, and the fall to the ground kills him. And who the power armored person is, it's a super villain. His name's Devastator. And the Argonauts have had some they've had some run-ins with him, but he's also been kind of helpful to the Argonauts, trading information for maybe the Argonauts look away on a minor crime, or let him go in order to catch a bigger fish. But they find him dead on the ground. And while they investigate the scene, they'll find maybe something here or in there. I haven't totally decided on that yet. But the next part, over the radio, Zeke is going to hear of a battle.
Team Icarus.
Team. Yep. Hey, what's up, Bob?
Oh, is that Bob?
Yeah, that's Bob.
Are you trying to say nasty stuff in our chat, Bob? I know. Oh, it's retracted. Those are messages that he deleted.
Oh, okay.
Hey, how's it going, Bob? Okay, yeah, go. Continue on, Justin.
All right, but yeah, they're going to get a report of a battle going on in front of a supervillain bar called Squally's. I won't go into that right now, but that's just one of the a popular bar for supervillains in my world. They're going to arrive on the scene to see some cybernetic agents.
My razor knife's in the house. I gotta grab it real quick.
You know, if someone has the skills of figuring out who superhero villains are, and if they make it by enough, they're going to realize that these agents are they're low level, you know, normal people with a couple of gadgets usually, but these ones have cybernetic implants on them, and they are attacking. And they belong to a supervillain called Warlord. He's the one that oversees them. And apparently he's ordered them to attack some villains at this base. And a couple of these villains are members of the War Machine, which is Warlord's superhuman division of his army. And for some reason, he has agents attacking them. The heroes are, and this scene is at a bar. And we will, we have the bar actually. We may show it to you. We might have to dig it out, but we can show you that the bar that this battle is going to be at, Squally's. They're gonna intervene in the battle. I'm sure of it. And assuming that they win, they're gonna get some information from these. And like I said, I don't want to spoil. I can't help spoiling some, but I don't want to spoil too much for people that are playing my game. At Gen Con this year. So just keep that, or try to, if you're going to be playing my game, try not to remember any of this I'm telling you. For the rest of you, like I've said in our broadcast last week, we're here to share, our love for gaming with the world, the knowledge we've accrued, the crafting, stuff that we do, and so on and so forth. But anyway, they're going to get information from this bar fight, and then they're going to go to an apartment or a safe house where they're going to find a whole bunch of other people murdered. Now, within this safe house, it's normally it's going to be some kind of apartment or some kind of basement or something like that, and there's going to be clues hidden in here. And I would like to physically have physical clues, whatever they may be, and just hide them within the scene. So when the characters go explore, when they make their rolls and you show them this little thing, this clue that they found. Players love that. Players like that. Getting a thing. It doesn't even matter what thing it is. They find this thing, they get to keep it. It's kind of cool, Or it shows how you show them how you had it cleverly hidden, and you open the little trap door. They think that's pretty cool too, and it is. It's kind of neat. It's just a little extra thing.
They appreciate the detail.
Yeah, exactly. They appreciate the detail.
And that's one thing. I mean, I don't know who's all going to watch this, but I'm hoping at some point, people who want to run games at Gen Con and stuff and are trying to figure out how to do that, all we did when we started is we put a lot of effort. I put a lot of effort into the terrain. He put a lot of effort into the story, and from what I can tell, from day one at Gen Con, we were hands above most of the people running games there because of it. I guess the bar, the quality of the games. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't good games there, but you have a lot of the game people who show up with just a pen and paper, and it's all theater of the mind. Which, I mean, that's cool, but if you're paying to play in a game and you're the largest tabletop role-playing convention in the country, I would think you would expect something a little more exciting. And so it's that attention to detail, putting that extra effort into it, that I think is what's making us become more popular at Gen Con, is the fact that we actually put a lot of effort and a lot of thought and play testing into our stuff. So I mean, don't just I don't think it's fair to just go in with, oh, I have an idea of what I want to run and sit down and muddle through it, because I've heard a lot of stories of people who end up in front of game masters there where it's like that. They're just running the game to get their to get a free badge, and they put minimal amount of effort into it, and that's not cool. It's not cool.
As a matter of fact, in a game that I played last year, one of our listeners right now is the one that ran it, Bob at Provic. I didn't notice it, but he noticed it. There was a group of gamers or players that came in, and they noticed, they noticed that he wasn't prepared at all, and they
not Bob.
Not Bob. We saw another table.
Yeah.
Bob is the epitome of preparation. But at another table we saw, I apparently they were unprepared, and the players even accused him, the game master, of that, of just phoning it in so that he could get a free complimentary game master pass, and they walked away from the game, and which has got to be humiliating for a game master.
It should be.
It should be.
It should be humiliating for a game master to have something like that happen. I'd be horrified. I mean, I'd be horrified to the point that I'd probably take money out of my pocket to refund them if I had somebody, if I felt like they were on a, had a legitimate complaint. But, and that's the thing. Like I think, like a lot of game masters, they'll for the number of people at the table, you want to have your game. You want to have your game set up so that, everybody who game masters understand what the spotlight is. You want it set up so that everybody has an opportunity to have a spotlight. Everybody has an opportunity to do something cool, to be able to feel like they're doing something. Feel like they're to have their fun. Where like some game masters will have eight people at their table, and you literally are lucky to have 3 or 4 turns in a 4-hour period,
right?
And that's it. That's no fun.
Right, yeah, exactly. And that's actually one of the challenges that I've faced when I'm making a game for Gen Con. As I said, the 4-hour that was more unruly grandchildren.
Yes.
But as I said, that was one of the challenges, because in Champions, in the hero system games, sometimes the turns can take a long time because the rules are they can be very complex. There's a lot of steps you got to go through in a turn. It's all in the name of realism. It's they go through every nuance of combat, but man, it can take some time. So I got to figure out what I can chop out of it to lose the least amount of realism, but to be able to do it in a quick enough time that the whole combat seems fluid. And that is one of my biggest challenges in playing games at Gen Con, is making that combat fluid.
Yeah. Turn this thing on so you can see how loud this is.
All right. It looks like Charlie's got some of his foam out and is making a rather large room. It's going to be a decent sized server farm. And some of the stuff that I envision seeing in it, we actually have the main villain. He's not glued together properly, and he's not repainted yet, but we've got the guy. Hold on, let me go grab him.
Oh yeah. And this is going to be more of a, I'm going to pull a piece of paper out here to put over this. Size-wise, so what are we thinking? I know we had already talked about that the first. We're gonna have a big storefront on it, like the ones I had shown the it'll be something, you know, similar to this, so this type of deal, the large storefront on it. And then inside, you want it, or we're going to do a blueprint layout, you know, just the platform layout, like what I had showed on that gas station deal, you know, where it's just a general floor plan type of deal like that, you know, where so that they can tell where the walls are and all that, but they're still low enough to where everyone can see fine from around the table, because if you have the tall walls, you can't see the stuff that's on the other side of the walls from your seat. So we're going to do one of those, a general floor plan of it. I would like to have it multiple levels somehow, where you have your ground floor, but then catwalks or something, you know, to give it some verticality.
Right, some three-dimensional aspect to it.
And the best way to do that for me is to figure out the basic floor plan, then I can figure out where the catwalks are going to fit into it. So the basic floor plans, we're going to say, with the storefront on this end, and this is the entrance, are you thinking just one big open area? Is it going to be divided by large machines?
Well, yeah, kind of yes to both. It is going to be an open area. We may put some, I don't know, put some admin area in there if you want, or like I said, he has changed this place for defense.
Yeah, he's
but yeah, I do like the open area the best. Maybe make some catwalks anywhere you want on it, really.
Size wise, this isn't really big enough. I was wanting to do this.
Okay.
Because at Gen Con we use the, what are they, 5 foot round?
Yes.
Yeah, they're 5 foot round tables. Are they 4 foot or 5 foot?
I don't remember.
I want to say they're 5 foot. This table is 4 foot wide. It's 4 by 7. My gaming table here. So I can always, I use that to kind of judge, because at Gen Con we have the round tables. But and for this the final scene, especially on this one, because the first 2 scenes are going to be kind of small. You said you might even do Theater of the Mind on the very first one. And it's back to that thing. I want them to feel like they're getting their bang for the buck. And I'll tell you what, there's, as a player and as a DM, there's nothing better than being able to go back to this here.
We lost the chat.
There's nothing better than being able to.
Oh wait, no, it's up there. I think it's you just need to bring that to the front.
Yeah. There's nothing better than being able to drop a big, crazy, nasty chunk of terrain on the table and have everybody be like, "Oh my God, holy shit, this is cool, wow!" And they pull their cameras out and they start taking pictures of it and all that. I mean, that's just it's one of the payoffs, you know, for it. So for this, I want to make this a large area. And in the grand scheme of things, the larger the area, the larger the area, the longer it's going to take. Because if you think about like movement, like characters, if they walk in the door here, how long is it going to take them to be able to move from here to this back corner, or you know, from there to here? Where that takes rounds, and rounds take time. So you gotta kind of balance the size of your terrain to how fast you want the battle to happen. You know, how spread out are the bad guys, you know, and all that. But with the superheroes, they'll all be leveled up. They'll be leveled up pretty good.
Oh yeah, they'll be
and they'll have plenty of movement. But like on my side on the ICRPG, those guys move a lot smaller distances, so I have to consider that more. Yeah, yeah.
They move like that.
They move about 6 inches a turn, and that's it. So for a large board like this, it's going to take time for them just to move from one end of the board to the other. So I'm thinking, and like I've always said, I don't necessarily measure. I probably should, just to make it even. Let's see here. 20. Let's say 24 inches. There. Need a nice sharp knife.
And folks, that is how we play razor roulette around here. If you're lucky, if you're very lucky, he'll give warning first.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to react to the ping. You know that ping.
We'll have everybody sitting here playing, and I'll do it. And everybody knows the moment I do it.
And then there's the whole stepping on a razor blade, sitting on a razor blade.
Well, if you come into my shop without shoes on, you got it coming. I do clean them up when I see them, if that makes anybody feel any better.
Oh yeah.
There we go. So this is what we're working with. I wish I had that. I don't know why that's backwards. You can find a cam that works. There we go.
So, folks, I'm thinking about what we talked about earlier. That there is absolutely plenty of good games at Gen Con. Great games. We're not the only one. We're not trying to sound arrogant or anything.
Yeah.
But we are. I mean, we're actually going off what people have told us over the past, 6-7 years or so. And man, we can see. I mean, I've played plenty of games at Gen Con, and the Theater of the Mind is, perfectly fine. It's great. But this, oh man, this is like, the clear coat you put on the top of your car to make it shine.
Yep.
It's the gloss over the, your great adventure that you've thought up, and this is just, the sheen of it. A nice, nice addition. And we do have the advantage. Gen Con takes place in Indianapolis, and we live in Indianapolis. We live, what do you say, 12 to 15 minutes away from Gen Con, and we realize that's a huge advantage for transportation logistics, which when you have a bunch of terrain, that is very important.
Being able to get it there. It's like a lot of people who come to Gen Con are flying in. They fly in, and they they aren't able to, they literally have to ship it ahead of time and pick it up when they got here and all that. So, you're right. We do have that advantage. Like,
and this year,
Bob's going to be dealing with that this year.
Yeah, he's driving in, unfortunately, but yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff. But I think being able to break it down and put it together easily, I think he's got that covered. Those just from what I've seen, that the stuff that he's made looks like they can be broken down pretty and condensed fairly well.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was answering, we may be able to see if we had the chat up.
Nope. Damn it. Yeah, I'm definitely having a hard time managing all of this. I'm getting it together, but it's getting it's a little ridiculous. Yeah, and Bob's using 3D printer. Mine's been broke down, and I haven't been 5-foot rounds, JW Marriott's 6-foot rounds. Yeah, I had a 3D printer for a few years, and what, probably right around the time I moved in to this new house, like, which is like 2.5, 3 years ago, it broke, and I just haven't been able to afford. I haven't been able to afford to fix it. And the one I have is older, so it's not even, I can't even get parts to fix it, so I'd have to buy a new one.
Yeah, it's becoming obsolete.
But the 3D printer was just, it was priceless. I mean, being able to just, oh, I need some desks or chairs for this room, and you literally just pull it on there and print them, and you have them, you know. I mean, for small, what they call scatter terrain, the little things that decorate, like computer, you know, desks, computers, wall sconces, doors, you know, all the little detail stuff for the terrain. A resin 3D printer you can't beat. And not to mention minis, you know, miniatures. I'm amazed the miniature market even exists anymore because of 3D printers.
Right.
So, you know, walk in on this. I'm just going to put this just to give me a general area for sketching. So I'm thinking,
and
we're going to have the storefront along here.
Right.
We'll have the door.
Now, actually, before we get too far into it, there's going to be no ceiling in here. It's going to be open air.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I'd have to have a ceiling, I'd have to have walls on the sides.
Right. Oh yeah, there's definitely no.
And you don't want those tall walls. I could make like a box where it's the ceiling and the walls are attached.
Oh, wait,
and you remove that whole piece.
Right. No, what I'm saying, there's in the scene in my head, there's no ceiling here. He's taken away the roof.
Oh, it's wide open.
Yeah, it's open air. It's wide open.
Oh wow. How's that work with rain and stuff?
We don't worry about that real shit.
So the roof is wide open.
Yes.
I'm sure they have some kind of weather modification stuff, but it only rains where it's needed in the Millennium City. I don't know if you guys saw the cool starting soon scene with the Battle of Millennium City, where I'm going to be working on that some more. But so do you expect, well, there's going to have to be a door. There has to be an entryway.
Yeah.
So I have the entryway.
We'll even say there's walls. With it, you know, however high you want to make them or whatnot, the walls exist.
Yeah. You'd have the entryway. This could be like a front desk area. You know, like because this used to be a warehouse. This is where you'd walk in, there'd be a front desk. A half wall with a door. This would have doors into the warehouse. Another door into the warehouse from here. Okay, now the warehouse in general. So he's turned it. So this is like he's set it up for defense.
Mm-hmm.
So have like turrets.
Yes.
In this room.
I was thinking big turrets.
No, I'm talking about in the small room.
Sure. Yeah.
They'll have cameras and literally just a ground-mounted turret there and there, kind of thing.
Sure.
You could maybe some type of trap or whatever in here, you know, like a panel on the door, and if you don't do it, the room fills with gas or blows up.
Right.
Okay.
The electric floor, the floor is electrifies. How's that sound?
Yeah. So this area, see, large, you even say rocket, like rocket turrets that shoot rockets.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got to think like defensive wise, they're going to want to.
Or actually, yeah, what could easily convert from, you know, any server or anything into a turret? I don't know about, actually thinking about it, I don't know about rockets. Some type of energy blaster.
Yeah, or like a bolt gun, like an electricity gun.
Yes.
Yeah, some type of electrical bolt gun. Bolt gun turrets. So and we'll want BGE or BGT. So I have turret there, turret here. Turret here. So 4 turrets. Now, floor plan wise, I'd say we could section it off. Or like have one area like this. Can be open. This. Like this. How well you guys can see this, but kind of break it up into areas so that when they'll come in, they can either come through here and come out into this, and they can see into this area, they can see this. So it still leaves like exploration, basically. If they come in here, they know there's a door going there, they know the building's much, so they know there's more stuff there, but then they can handle this, come in here, handle this, come in here and handle this. You know, that kind of stuff. So it makes the building, you know, more explorable, so they don't just walk in the door and automatically see everything. What do you think about that, Justin?
Yeah, I like it.
So now we've got it broken down into 3 different areas. What are the 3 different areas going to be?
All right.
You got to think. You know, each area is going to have its own defenses and its own bad guys. You know, like in this area, they gotta, you know, they're gonna fight this. They're gonna, you know, say, you know, like. It'd be kind of thing where you have the big bad guy, the final boss is in here, but off in this other little corner in here, there's a weapon or something that will help them with the final boss.
Right.
You know, but they're gonna have to aggro the final boss to even get in there to get it.
Right. And either a weapon or this section is the servers that are dedicated to helping him improve, or, you know, whatever. Maybe they can go in there, they'll find a weapon in there that he's going to put on himself later, or mess with the servers in there and try to hack him somehow, you know, something like that.
So this could be a server room. So we'll have servers along the wall.
And then just like row.
Rows of servers like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get in there and there'll be like ceiling mounted guns in here. Or, you know, that's the kind of stuff that you can work out. You know, like stun weapons, or, you know, something that makes it, you know, when you go in there and try to mess that room up, you have a problem.
Right.
We had talked about a production line. Making, at one point when we were talking about it, you brought up, where is it?
A production line, what, making robots or something?
Yeah.
We can have that in here. Have that be this space right here.
Where's my blue?
Your blue what?
My blue mat. You'd be like making these guys, like basically like sentry robots. See, so here I'm thinking here we could have, you could have like a long do it this way, a conveyor belt. This could be a long conveyor belt with these, you know, one of these being made. And if they don't do something to stop it, it spits out. And you can even, you have like a door here. When it spits out, it automatically shoots him into here.
Yep, spits out and then starts another one. Another one will start right there and then go down the line.
And you have that turn base. That way, if they come in the door, if they come in the door and come this way and go straight in here, they don't even realize that's happening until they start popping out on them. I mean, you could even have this door closed, have this door locked, or not even have that door there at all, so that if they just come in here and start messing with all that, these things start coming in on them. And they're like, holy shit, where are those coming from? We should go figure out where those are coming from and stop that.
Right. I know. I kind of like the idea of maybe they at least they have the option of coming in here first, or knowing about this. Like maybe leave this door open if they make perception rolls, or have a closed door with a little window. And if they make perception rolls, they notice, you know, they see in there, line. And they see a production line for a robot being built.
Yeah. So this could be a production line. I have you could do those the robot things with the arms, you know, that stick up along this side. This is the kind of stuff where a 3D printer would come in so handy to make these kind of things. You know, like, you know what I'm talking about, the production line arm, the robotic arms.
Yeah, the little I think Waldo, I think called Waldos or something like that.
Waldos. Have that. You could have parts down along both sides, and you could even have weapons.
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
The weapons that are mounted on this, where those would be, you know, attainable. If they actually go in there and tear that room up and pay attention, they see there's weapons.
Ooh, maybe a weapon that he's vulnerable to, even, or you know, something like that.
Yeah. So we've got those two rooms done. What about this? This area. That's his like main charging station, or
yes,
his like,
where his main charging station, or his throne area, or you know, something like that.
You want it here or here? So I'm thinking like the board cube, the board charging stations, you know, from Star Trek Next Generation, you know, where they'd stand in those little alcoves that they stood in.
Right.
Yeah, like a cool glowing alcove kind of deal that he stands in. So.
Oh yeah,
it'd be like an alcove charging thing.
Ooh,
that he's standing up on.
Right. Or that he fights a little bit, gets a little bit hurt, goes in here, and then he gets healed up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then have the players.
You have some kind of minions or whatever on the sides of it for him.
Right.
That make it really hard to get up near it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And maybe some kind of obvious cables or something going into this room to possibly give players an idea that if they go into that room, they might be able to affect something.
Right.
Because if they come in here and they just start fighting, they may not want to pull off and go into that room. Maybe just leave a hint that you know that something's going on in this area that could help them out.
And it almost, I mean, I kind of like the idea of like, I do it in my games where, and you have to do it right, you know, so it doesn't seem goofy, but make it so they can't kill him unless they go in here and do this. That he, you know, they're not doing damage to him. He's recovering too quick. He's, you know, what the hell. So that way, if
I'll keep him killable that way, but extremely hard.
Right.
Like, just like there's definitely a better way of doing it. This is possible.
Where is that's one of the things, you know, you do with characters. You put them in a position, they're like, holy crap, we're not doing any damage to this guy, and he's kicking our ass. You know, there's got to be an easier way to do this. There's got to be something else, and it makes them start looking at the environment.
Right.
And it's funny because, like, in my experience, when I have that kind of stuff, they most of the people that I play with, you know, here at home, they're aware of my terrain. They know I make my terrain, that my terrain's detailed. Everything that's on there is usable for some, you know, one way or another. Where when I, like at Gen Con and stuff, you get people who haven't played on terrain very much. They've only used theater of the mind. So they don't understand that this box sitting in this corner, you can open it and look and see in it. You know,
Right.
where those people sit down, they think it's just decoration, and they don't even consider, you know, that, hey, maybe I should go look there, or maybe I should go do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I've had that at Gen Con before. I explained to them at the beginning that this terrain is detailed for a reason. You know, every detail matters. You know, don't just assume something is there to look cool and that's it.
Right.
You know, which is the case for some things, but everything is interactable. You know, so like you said, you come in here, then they see those cables going into the other room. They should know automatically, hey, I can cut those cables and it's going to do something, you know.
Right.
Which is probably what will happen. You know, I think rather than go search in another room and they see those cables, they might run up there and start chopping at those cables right away, especially if he starts regenerating.
Right.
So, but these are the kind of things you work out in play testing, and, you know, just how you present the situation and how you describe the environment they're in and stuff like that. So you have the charging alcove. What about the rest of the room?
The rest of the room,
You
I
could
will-
have a couple of these lined along the wall.
Yeah, I don't want to overwhelm them too much, but yeah, maybe that, or maybe have some more servers that converted into robots, or, you know, something like that in here.
Like little Wall-E robots.
Yeah.
Like just like helper guys.
Yeah.
Repair.
Or you know, actually have different stations for him. Just have different stations, when we have to say what they're for, but just different stations for him in here, and how he's been improving himself. And by each station is its own entity, that if the other characters come too close, the Waldos, you know, try to grab them or something like that.
So you'd have one here. And these are like just basically platforms or whatever that he can stand on to jack in.
Right. Ooh, and each of these platforms add to him in some different way, give him some kind of bonus.
Right.
If the players see that happening, different things happen on different platforms, and all these platforms have wiring hooked into this room.
Yeah.
That might give them the idea of something's going on in here. Maybe they could do something in here to affect him out here.
Yeah. Have these
Like
all.
when he goes here, his electric weapons are, you know, way more powerful, or, you know, something like that. Or he goes here, and, you know, all of a sudden his weapons are area of effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, he goes here, he adds some dice to his damage because his weapons are more powerful when he goes here. When he goes here, he heals.
Yeah. And you have to make these really powerful so they can't just destroy them in one or two hits.
Oh, yeah.
Make it to where they have to do a massive amount of damage to destroy it. Yeah. I think that'll be cool.
It will be cool.
Yeah.
And well, folks, that is the end scene right there. That's the blueprints of it, and that's our starting point on this. Hope you can see. Everybody see that okay? It looks like you can. But that is a look into mine and Charlie's process for making games for Gen Con.
And we have it, you know, we pretty much, you know, we've got the general framework fleshed out, and now the way it works is the way I start building it, and as we're building it, you know, as I'm building it, and Justin and I talk about it and stuff like that, and I start making the individual pieces, you know, we'll have more ideas and kind of switch it up a little bit here and there. But we have the general framework of how it's going to work and what I need to start putting it together. I think the layout's pretty good. I think I like the layout. The only thing I was like what I had talked about with the verticality. We can maybe have a catwalk along this area, a catwalk on this side also, a catwalk along here, or a catwalk along here. It's basically just, you know, like scaffolding, you know, something to give, you know, to have a higher level. But for the Heroes game, it's kind of weird dealing with that, because everybody can jump real far, everybody can fly, so that verticality comes whether they have something to stand on or not.
Right.
But in my games, you know, where the characters are more ground based and all that verticality, you know, comes in a lot more. So let's set this aside. Now get into the crafting process. Now for those walls, here, this is probably one of the, oh damn it, I unplugged it. One of the best tools is probably one of the most useful tools that I've bought. You know, it is obviously, you know, I love to work with styrofoam, and this is a hot wire cutter. I'm out of coffee. Now to build these walls, what I'll do is square this up. It's like, how tall do I want these walls to be? And I usually go, I think it's about 1/4 inch.
Yeah, you don't want to go too high. I think you said earlier, you don't want to go too high. You don't want to block the player's vision of your terrain. I mean, if you do that, that kind of just negates the whole point of making the terrain in the first place. If they really want to see the entirety of it, if they got to get up, you know, and kind of look each and every time, that's kind of tiring.
Yeah. Why are everything's always so unlevel? This is a real thin wire, and this heats it up. And for the styrofoam, it just, you know, if it's working. Oh, come on. Sometimes it's kind of old. It's weird sometimes. Damn it. Of course, it worked that first time I turned it on. Yeah. It worked the first time I turned it on. Of course.
There we go. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, old men fumbling with modern technology.
Yeah. This just melts right through it like butter, gives you a perfectly straight cut until you run into the camera.
Yeah. And there we go.
Gives you that perfectly straight cut.
And some highly carcinogenic fumes.
Yeah, the fumes are probably not good for you. This is the one you're recommended to wear an N95 mask while you do this, because breathing melted styrofoam is not good for you. I'm gonna move this a little bit over to the side here. But I also had somebody tell me that if the smoke isn't black, it's not dangerous. You might want to Google that.
Yeah, that sounds like some hillbilly wisdom there.
Because the smoke that comes off of this is white, so it's not bad for you. That's what somebody told me. That wire, it's hot enough to melt through this stuff like butter, but it's hot. It's definitely hot, but it's not gonna mess you up. It's not gonna, burn you bad.
Yeah, you can't chop your finger off with it and have it cauterize the whole way through.
Right.
I wish we actually tried that.
No.
Don't try it. We don't think it'll work, but don't try it.
And what I'll do is...
But if you do, send us the video.
Yeah. It'll make a good short.
Yeah, it'll go in our bloopers reel.
The thing with using this is you want a nice, smooth, you don't want to change speeds. If you slow down or speed up too much, it gives you little waves. It'll give you little waves on it. Like here, you can kind of see some here. Let me see. Like right along in this area. It's where I slowed down. If you slow down, it burns, it burns more than what you expect. But I cut it down to create these little strips. Do it again on with this. And this is all, there's no perfect measurement on this. I just kind of eyeball it. You want them all to be pretty much the same height. I made those. I don't know if that's going to be enough or not, but we'll see. So I don't yank that off the table again. So now what we drew is a little bit smaller than what my board is, but we have the general idea of what we need. So I'll have this. This will be the entrance area. About there. This. This is just, I'm kind of mocking this up. When I go to actually glue them down, I'll even them all out and make them all perfectly spaced.
Now you got a wall right here. Is there going to be a door right there, or should
there'll be a door.
Like that?
I'll have a door. There'll be a door here, a door here. Do you want a door on this?
No,
So so see if I'll let you guys get a good look. What I've done So I've got those are all. Is that the Proxon? Might as well. Yeah, it's a Proxon hot wire table, and they're not. They aren't very expensive, and I'll tell you what. I've had that one for
Years
at
years.
least 5 years, and I just now started kind of having issues with it, but I think it's dirty is what it is, because that wire. The wire goes down. See if you can see this. The Proxon wire goes down into this hole. Which, look, it broke. The wire broke. The wire goes down into that hole, and you screw it, and it attaches it to the other end, so it sends an electric current through the wire. But when you burn real thick styrofoam, that styrofoam will melt and get down in that hole. And I think the connection is kind of wonky. It's dirty, from the melted styrofoam getting down in there. And I tried it.
I think it froze. Camera froze.
Oh no! Did it again.
The camera that we've just designed to be able to move around and see stuff freezes. Oh no! What's going on? Old men fumbling with technology.
Yeah, it froze up again. I don't know why it's doing that.
I bet my bet is it's the tension on there. So there's some connection that's getting stressed.
Oh. Got sound now. Did we not have sound? We should have had sound.
Are we on? Did we lose that stuff
yeah,
too?
we're still on. I think. I don't know how long of a delay we got. He said he doesn't have any sound. It's showing that we have sound. Yeah.
Testing. Testing.
Yeah, we have sound, and it's coming. It's coming through here. Yeah, I've got it up on my phone on my other account.
Oh, he turned his volume down.
Got me panicking.
Yeah.
Got me panicking. I don't know why I have to keep removing this thing and adding it again to get it to. Go ahead and talk.
All right. Well, in this for this short intermission, I will.
There we go.
Are we back?
Yeah.
But anyway, on this short intermission, I will talk about our team, Team Argonauts. As I said, me and Charlie started running this game in 2018, kind of as a bucket list, for a bucket list type of deal, and I said we loved doing it. So we continued, and then decided I'd like this group to be bigger. We got enough compliments from people saying that they loved our game, that it was a great game. We've had several. This is my favorite game in Gen Con, and that made me decide to want to grow bigger. I want this to, I want to make a group that, that's what they think of the group, man. These guys are good. These guys are good. We want to play these guys' games because, not only do they have really cool terrain, the stories are great as well. And so we've slowly grown. 2 years ago, we had a game master, Mike T. He joined our Team Argonaut. I've known Mike for decades, since our college days at Purdue in the early mid-90s. He decided to, he'd like to run a game at Gen Con, and he is also a crafter. Folks, his sets are highly detailed, man. They are beautiful.
Yeah. He definitely brought down the gauntlet.
Yeah.
For me, making me step it up.
Right.
He is awesome.
He is very much so. So he ran a game. Did he run 1 or 2 years?
You're in 2. He did the big boat.
Okay, yeah, he did the big boat. But anyway, yeah, he ran a couple years, and then last year, yeah, it was me and Charlie, you know, running the game, and then Mike T running the game, and then last year, Charlie decided that he wanted to run a game at Gen Con as well, an index card role-playing game. So he did that. He definitely, you know, helped with the terrain, because I mean, left in my hands there would be no terrain. So he helped with the terrain on my game. We made a spectacular looking bridge. And the next time we design for my game, at the beginning of the session, we'll start out with that bridge. Man, it's a nice looking piece of terrain there. But anyway, I digress. It's he ran a game last year. Ran his characters literally through hell. And I think it was a frozen terrain, lava terrain, and we also Mike the Tooth. Tooth ran a game, a Call of Cthulhu game last year, and our chats on. He ran a game last year. So last year we went from 2 game masters to 4 game masters. And then after last year, you know, we finally had all of Team Argonaut games were in one room the whole time, which was nice. So we set up our cool looking banner outside, which we'll show once again next week. Our cool banner outside. You know, we had games in there the whole time. And in between last year and this year, we picked up 4 more game masters. Now, I don't know if they're going to want to do it every year. I surely hope they do. But yeah, we've doubled in size again. We have Mike T's wife, Becky, who's going to be running it's going to be a Theater of the Mind role-playing game. While she may not have terrain like this, I think that she's going to have a centerpiece for the table that's going to be relevant to her game. We also have Kate, who's going to be running games. She is running Bluebeard, if I remember right. Man, I'm ashamed of the fact that I can't remember it exactly. It is Bluebeard's Brides game, and I believe that's even the name of the system. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten together with her too much on her game, how much terrain oriented it's going to be, if at all. But it I do remember it being about it's Bluebeard's Brides trying to, and I won't even spoil any of her adventure. You can see the description in our on the Gen Con website. If you type in Team Argonaut in the search bar, all of our games will pop up, and you can go on any of them to see the description of them. But anyway, Kate's running a game called Bluebeard's Brides. We also have another crafter, Dork Lord, and he makes some really cool miniatures. We play tasted his game once, and the creatures that you're going to be fighting in his game are spectacular. They are definitely cool looking.
Evil, crazy evil topiary
right, exactly.
monsters. I need to get a brick plug to plug in here.
All right, who am I forgetting? Me, you, Charlie. I said Mike the Tooth, right? He is running a Call of Cthulhu game. Last year it was mostly Theater of the Mind. He did have some pieces for weapons and stuff like that. I'm not. It may be the same this year. I'm not real sure. Haven't play tested that game yet. No, I got something. And those are, man. Why do I feel like I'm missing something?
The girls.
Yeah, I got both of them. I got Donnie. You got
Mike Tooth, Mike T, me, you, the 2 girls. There's just 7 of us, right?
I thought it was 8. Bob.
Bob. Bob. Like,
sorry, Bob.
What am I? Chopped liver.
Yeah, and then we have Bob as well. Bob, he's been playing my games since I started running games at Gen Con. He's got he and his family, like as I said, play my game every year. They are hands down the best role player group I've ever ran a game with.
Yeah, their family set the bar for us.
Yes, and they've also set the bar for natural teamwork as well. They move as a unit, as every group should. Mm-hmm. These folks have perfected it. But he's always enjoyed the hero system game, and I've apparently have inspired him to start running games at Gen Con himself. He ran a game last year and the year before, and last year I invited him to our group, to Team Argonaut, and he accepted, and we gladly added him to our group. He kind of lives far away. He's in
Oklahoma.
No, it's not Oklahoma. It's either Kansas or Missouri. I forget which one. And I'm just going to leave it at the confusion right there because I don't want to guess the wrong one. Okay, yeah, Mike the Tooth's game this year. It's not Call of Cthulhu. It uses Call of Cthulhu rules, but it is a cyberpunk setting, and I remember that now. And I was looking forward to play testing it, to check it out.
Oh my god.
More glue. And so those are all of our game masters that are in our group this year. I'm really excited about it. Another thing that we've done for Gen Con this year is we've definitely challenged our abilities on this one. We have invented a tournament. We've invented and put together a tournament. It's going to be a whopping 160 people. It's going to be 32 teams of 5, and they are going to. It's going to be 4 rounds. The first round, they fight each other. The winner takes the prize to the second round. The second round is a kind of a capture the flag type of game where they got to go to the other team's base, grab their artifact that they won in their last fight, and bring it back to your base while still controlling your artifact. And if you do that, you win. You go to the next level. Round 3, it changes up a little bit. Instead of that team fighting another team, that team fights itself. It'll be a 5-person free-for-all. Last person standing wins. And the last person standing from that fight will go on to the final round. And it's assuming that everybody shows up to the tournament. It's going to be the final round is going to be an 8-person free-for-all. With the winner of that game will receive as a prize the Royal Game of that we are. We didn't invent the game, but we are making the game ourselves. And what the Royal Game of is, it is the oldest board game on the planet that's been discovered with a set of rules of how to play the game. This game, I think, is like around 4,000 years old. It was invented, the Sumerians invented it, I believe. And for thousands of years, it was just, the game to play across, the whole known world. As I said, it lasted for thousands of years. It was the premier game, until like chess came along. I believe backgammon came along. I believe a version of Parcheesi came along to, finally challenge it. But we are making the game board. Mike the Tooth. Mike the Tooth is our resident blacksmith, and he is going to be making the game boards themselves, and he's going to be forging them out of bronze. Because while traditionally the Royal Game of is played on a wooden carved board, we're going to use bronze because it was developed during the Bronze Age. And as I said, we have a blacksmith, so we're going to use him. And he's going to make the board. Potentially, we may be asking him to make 2 boards if possible. But
we got to get the first one made.
Yeah, we got to get one made before we think about the second one. because we're going to be running more games than Gen Con this year. We're going to be running more games than at Gen Con. That was Pam. Than at Gen Con this year. We're also going to be running two local conventions, gaming conventions, or two local conventions in Indiana. The first one being In Conjunction, which is going to be held on the west side. It's July 10th through 12th in Indianapolis, and it's going to be at the I can't remember. I will at a later time, as the convention nears, I will be able to give the location because I'll know it. But we're going to be running games there about a month before Gen Con. We're going to be play testing the game of still, and it'd be kind of cool if we had a prize for that convention there. We'll also be running games at HoosierCon. Now that takes place in the middle end of September. It is after Gen Con. It's on the east side. I don't remember the dates right now, but it is taking place on the east side of Indianapolis in the middle or end of September.
Yeah, I'm having issues here. I'm trying to find my hot glue sticks. I have a box of them. At least I'm pretty sure I have a box of them. I'm out of hot glue. That is what I'm going to do is I'm going to start attaching these with hot glue to the table or to the board, and where I keep them, I'm not finding them. I got a whole box of them in here.
Don't believe Tooth on there. He said he's not really a blacksmith. He is definitely a blacksmith, master blacksmith, world-renowned blacksmith, who is just overly modest.
He just being modest.
Now, I remember Kaya used the glue gun. Did she grab all the glue sticks?
No, I didn't give her the.
Oh, you didn't give her the big box?
The whole box. Making me crazy.
Well, folks, while we're waiting for Charlie to find the glue gun, I can, I guess, go into my own personal gaming history. If you go to teamargonaut.net, you can get the unabridged version of what I'm about to tell you. But that is our website. And once again, once we become more familiar with this technology, because we seem to have lost our little Team Argonaut sticker there on the picture. I don't see it there anymore.
Oh no, it's on the other one.
Oh, it's on the other one.
Page.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
So they can see it, but we can't.
No,
What's going on?
no, they can't see it.
Okay.
It's only on this page. I didn't put it on the other ones.
Okay, it's only
There.
on that page. I see. But yeah, if you go down there, you see down there is our website. But my gaming, what got me into gaming, I guess the very, very first gaming experience I had was, I was probably, man, I'm trying to figure out, even 6, 8, 7, 8, maybe 9 years old. I went to a babysitter after school, and the babysitter had 2 kids herself, an older one who was probably 15, 16, and then a younger one that was my age, another 8 or 9 year old, and the older brother asked us if we wanted to play this game, and we said yeah, and he ran us through a short thing. I remember we ended up getting killed. I remember that much. I remember opening a door and getting hit by a trap. I remember that much. But that's about as much specifics I remember. But one of the things I do remember well is after the game, it's like, man, that was really neat. I get to choose everything that I did, and it wasn't, it wasn't like playing Candyland where you only go in this direction. You can only go to the color that you've drawn. you're given a set of parameters. Although I didn't call them parameters in my head at the time, you're given a set of parameters, and you choose what you do, and the choices you make, dictate what happens to you. And I thought that concept, it just blew my mind at the time. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. Okay. I gave up. I cannot find my glue sticks, but that's going to be my next step, is to attach these in place, and basically what I'll do is I'll measure them out, make everything square, cut out the door frames, and just glue everything, like on those other ones, like a blueprint of the floor plan. So it's going to be this. I have a couple questions. Do we want the door here?
No. I'd rather them come through here and
have that.
What the chances?
There's
Yeah,
no
I
main
do want
access.
a door here.
Yeah, there'll be a door here. And also thinking a big secure door here, which actually I'm going to have that be a little longer. I'll probably have to cut another piece for it. So this is going to have a door. So this can go here. This can be here. Have this a secure door into the server room.
Yeah.
A secure door into this. This could be either a door or one of those things with like the flappy plastic, that you see in warehouses.
There you go. Yeah. Let's make a little flappy plastic.
A little flappy plastic thing.
Right.
Yeah. So we've got the general layout done, and now it's going to be a matter of gluing these pieces into place, and then start working on the individual deals, like the conveyor belt. I'm probably gonna record and post as like crafting videos the scatter train pieces. So like the conveyor belt, the computer terminals and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of real cool shortcuts. Like for computer terminals, I have I've got it. Is it down there? No, those are my rock walls. These.
Yeah, and I sure hope that he can find them. They are a good. They're a good workaround, because trying to craft a computer terminal to make it look sleek and modern, that is very hard.
Yeah, but short of 3D printing them.
Yeah, short of 3D printing them. Yeah, 3D printing them is, if we had a running one, that would be the answer. But this is the second answer for those of us
that are like Bob and those of you who've seen our games before. I have these where it's literally the same kind of thing. A chunk of, I'm going to bring it up to this big camera. It's the same like a chunk of styrofoam. And what I did is I went online and found images of computer terminals and cut the styrofoam into, it's actually, I think that's it. Cut the styrofoam into an angle, glue, you print it out on a color printer, cut out the terminals. You can find, there are just thousands of these images. You just look up computer terminal JPEG images. You print out the color picture and cut it out, just cut it out, thin layer of Elmer's glue, and then I put a layer of Mod Podge over it to protect it. And these work awesome, on terrain as terminals. Against the wall. I have some longer ones and some short ones, but you can literally decorate an entire room with computer terminals, for literally, you know, one sheet of printer paper, one sheet of color printer paper, and some scraps of styrofoam, and you create, you know, server banks and all that. I will probably, I'm gonna make them specifically for this game. I have a big box of those, but what I do is I make them when I need them here and there, and then throw them in there, throw them in that box to where you get to the point where you have 50 of them, you know, and they're small enough. They're small enough that you can, you know, they're real easy to store. You throw a bunch of them in a box, and that's pretty much it. I have these other ones that I use for just futuristic walls, but it's just the styrofoam, and I cut some deep grooves in them, ran a pencil through there to open them up, and painted them different colors. But I'll use these for, like, you know, futuristic, you know, spaceship walls and stuff like that. Those are pretty cool. But they come in handy too. And the only thing is, when you're making these, the computer terminals and, you know, any type of walls like this, I have, since I'm showing off walls, where is it? Just I've done the same thing for dungeons, you know, for dungeon walls. I do the same thing, but with styrofoam, and you do the same thing. You take a pin, you know, you take a pin and kind of dig the edge, dig the lines out to make it look bricked. Texture it with a rock, and paint those crevices black, and then go over it with a sponge with gray to create these dungeon walls. And the only real specific with it is you want to make them all uniform. And I think what I did is I think I have 6-inch ones. I made 6-inch ones and 3-inch ones. So you have these shorter ones. That way, when you go through to build stuff, everything's still uniform. You know, everything kind of matches up square for the most part. But, you know, those use those for dungeons. But but it's pretty much the same process for the computer terminals, the dungeon walls, spaceship walls. And it's that styrofoam, so they're light. You know, you go over and, you know, hit them with a coat of Mod Podge. It gives them a good shell on them. I don't think these are even Mod Podged, and I've had these for years. And I have a big box of them, so I can, you know, build dungeons as we go while you're playing. It's just real handy stuff to have. And I keep them in a shoebox. But I'll record as individual videos the different scatter terrain things that I'm building, kind of walk everybody through the process. So, you know, keep an eye out for that stuff. Where are we at? We about 2 hours.
Looks like 1:58 on there.
Yeah. So, short of gluing this stuff down, we got most of what we wanted done. And here's the plan for the layout. And it's actually pretty rare that I actually sketch stuff out, but when I'm making it, you know, specifically for somebody else, I like to make sure that they you know, that they know what they're getting. Where I'm getting that weird shadow. But yeah, I don't know how well you can see that. It's just pencil. But I'm gonna have to build the conveyor belt, the little wallies with the arms, the charging station, the 3 upgrade platforms.
4 altogether.
You want 4 of them?
Well, there's more of them right there.
Well, this is his charging station.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The servers, for the server room, and then kit bashing the different cannons, the electric bolt cannons, ceiling mounted guns, and stuff like that. Which I have a pretty large stash of kit bash stuff. that I can dig through to make that. So, anything else?
Nothing that I can think of right now. So yeah, just kind of into the wrap-up phase of this live stream. Thank you all so very much for showing up, giving your comments. We love to see them. We love to hear them. We love people joining our stream, checking us out. I cannot see the comments right now. There we go.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, thank you, Tooth. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. I mean, everybody. Shane. What was the other guy?
War Dog.
War Dog. Jill. My girl. My wife. Love you very much.
So there's this.
But yes, that is our that is our website. You know us here on the YouTube page. We also have Instagram. We've only ever posted one thing on there, unfortunately. We also have a Facebook page. We haven't really posted anything on there either, unfortunately. As I said many times, we are old men fumbling with technology. We're not real savvy, and unfortunately not properly motivated to go on all those social media platforms. Maybe we just need a fire lit under our butts, but you know, I'm sorry. But thank you all once again.
Yep. Thanks for hanging out. I know we didn't do a lot of crafting. I will get it to the point where we are. It's just at the beginning like this, just getting the ideas going. But I think like next week we'll be working on my my Cliffs of New Haven, and I think that'll be almost entirely crafting, where I'll be chopping a lot of styrofoam, doing a lot of styrofoam chopping, and painting. Hopefully, if I don't, I may do a lot of that throughout the week, but we'll be well into the process next week when we go into that. But I hope I know we talk about our game mastering experiences a lot, and I don't want it to come across as that we know everything. We're just trying to share what we do know, and for people who don't have the experience, the information can be helpful. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for coming by. Check out our website, www.teamargonaut.net. We're at Team Argonaut on YouTube right there. That's where you're watching us. And if you haven't, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It's going to help us get this stuff out. I mean, since we did that, I think we gained 6-7 subscribers just off of that last week's stream.
Off of last week's, and we love every one of you. We are at a strong dozens of followers or subscribers now.
Dozens.
we got dozens. I can say that. And it's literal.
Yeah.
But seriously though, thanks a lot, you guys, and we'll be back about 2 o'clock. Hopefully, we should be on time next week. Eventually, we will run out of stumbling blocks to slow us down. We'll get it past them. But until then, next week, 2 o'clock, and until next week, have a great game.
Have a great game, guys. Thank you very much. And Mike, if you bring that board down, we can show it off on here next week.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Thank you very much, guys.